Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever wondered how a coin worth just a single cent could one day be valued at tens of millions of dollars and make collectors and investors scramble with excitement? Today we dive into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of numismatics, a tale that begins with an ordinary 1998 penny produced by the United States Mint but ends with staggering historical significance and unimaginable monetary value. A coin so rare and unique that it commands attention from experts, hobbyists, and treasure hunters alike. So if you enjoy discovering hidden gems, incredible money stories, and the secret world of coins, make sure to like and subscribe because this story will blow your mind and might make you rush to check your own coin jar. The 1998 penny might look just like any other cent, copper-colored, small, and seemingly insignificant, but it carries a story of rarity and error that turns everyday currency into a million-dollar treasure. The journey of this coin starts at the Philadelphia and Denver mints where millions of pennies are produced each year. But like all mass-produced items, occasional mistakes occur, some of which are minor and unnoticed, while others, like the 1998 penny with its misaligned die, doubled mint mark, or unique striking error, can create a numismatic sensation. Collectors immediately noticed that a few specimens from 1998 showed irregularities. Some had faint doubling on the D mint mark, unusual die cracks, or anomalies in the relief of Lincoln's profile. While most pennies from this year circulated without incident, the rare ones went on to create a buzz in auction circles and among private collectors. The rarity of this penny is compounded by the extremely low number that survived in mint condition. Most pennies are handled, scratched, or lost over time, but the few that were preserved perfectly, showing clear error characteristics, suddenly became objects of intense desire. The story of how 1 cent could be worth so much also intersects with human behavior. People love rarity, they love the idea of owning something no one else can, and they are willing to pay extraordinary amounts to secure that status. When this particular 1998 penny went up for auction, bids skyrocketed, fueled not only by its scarcity but by the stories surrounding it. Collectors speculated about the precise cause of the die errors, the potential for undiscovered specimens, and the legacy of Lincoln pennies in American culture. Numismatic experts analyzed the coin under magnification, noting subtle differences in the lettering, the depth of the strike, and the unusual alignment. They traced the minting process and realized that this coin represented an incredibly rare error, one that might never be reproduced. The market responded accordingly. Private sales, auctions, and dealer listings showed values climbing rapidly. Stories spread across social media and specialized forums. Enthusiasts debated its authenticity, and some even traveled across states to view it in person. The excitement around the 1998 penny is also tied to historical context. The late 1990s were a period of economic growth in the United States. Coins were being produced in massive quantities to meet everyday demand, yet errors of this caliber were exceedingly rare, adding layers of historical intrigue. Beyond its rarity, the coin's condition plays a huge role in its astronomical value. A coin graded at a perfect 70 by professional grading services commands exponentially higher prices than one with minor scratches or wear. The 1998 penny that reached the $67 million valuation was in pristine, flawless condition, preserving the sharp details of Lincoln's profile, the wheat stalk reverse, and the subtle anomalies that make it unique. Stories from collectors recount how some of these pennies were found in forgotten coin rolls, drawers, and even in circulation, proving that treasures can be hidden in the most ordinary places. The human fascination with this coin also stems from its transformation from everyday pocket change to a near-mythical artifact. It challenges our assumptions about value, showing how context, rarity, and story can turn something worth 1 cent into a fortune. Financial analysts have even cited coins like the 1998 penny as examples of alternative investment, where tangible objects, especially rare collectibles, can appreciate dramatically over time. Legal experts in numismatics have weighed in on ownership disputes, provenance documentation, and the importance of authenticating coins before high-value transactions, and museums have taken notice, showcasing coins like this as part of exhibitions on American currency, historical minting practices, and the evolution of coin collecting. The cultural impact is equally impressive, inspiring countless articles, YouTube videos, blogs, and social media posts, encouraging a new generation to explore the world of coin collecting, and sparking debates about the future value of seemingly mundane items. Enthusiasts analyze market trends, historical minting records, and auction results, comparing the 1998 D penny to other high-value coins. Noting that factors like die errors, mintage numbers, preservation, and collector demand all intersect to create mind-boggling valuations, the coin's story also illustrates how meticulous attention to detail can turn ordinary objects into legendary artifacts. When examining the 1998 D penny, one notices the subtle doubling on the mint mark, the faint die cracks, the unusual positioning of Lincoln's profile, and other anomalies that distinguish it from the millions of other pennies produced that year. These small details, invisible to the untrained eye, define its extraordinary value. Interviews with professional numismatists reveal that coins like the 1998 D penny are the holy grails of their field, and owning one is both a financial investment and a badge of prestige. Collectors describe the thrill of finding such a coin as akin to discovering buried treasure, and they often share stories of long searches, trips to coin shows, and meticulous inspections of hundreds of pennies to uncover rare specimens. The 1998 D penny's value is also a testament to the dynamics of supply and demand. Even a single coin can command millions if the right collectors compete to own it. Auction houses report dramatic bidding wars where price estimates are shattered. The coin's reputation grows, stories of its valuation are spread far beyond numismatic circles, attracting general audiences fascinated by rare money, history, and unusual collectibles. Economic experts sometimes use coins like this to illustrate principles of scarcity, perceived value, and speculative investment, while historians discuss the context of the U.S. Mint's production techniques in the 1990s. The coin is also a symbol of patience and perseverance. Collectors often spend years researching, searching, and networking to locate rare pennies. The journey itself becomes a story of dedication and passion. The allure of the 1998 D penny transcends its monetary worth. It represents a confluence of history, art, craftsmanship, human psychology, and economics. Its story is celebrated in numismatic circles and beyond, inspiring articles, videos, and podcasts, and fueling dreams of ordinary people who imagine discovering their own hidden treasures. In conclusion, this tiny 1-cent coin, produced in 1998 at the Denver Mint, once destined to pass unnoticed through pockets, cash registers, and vending machines, has transformed into a legendary collectible, valued at an astonishing $67 million due to its rare minting errors, impeccable condition, historical context, and the fervor of collectors competing for its ownership, proving that even the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary under the right circumstances and capturing the imagination of the world with its incredible story. 1-cent 1998 D USA coin and face value is $67 million worth big money in history. Next, 1989 1-cent USA coin. Today we are diving into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of coin collecting. A story that could literally change the way you look at your pocket change. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that is worth millions yet has the face value of just 1 cent. It sounds impossible, but the 1-cent 1989 USA coin with a face value of $68 million is real, and its story is as fascinating as it is rare. Collectors and investors alike are always on the hunt for coins that carry historical significance, unique errors, or extreme rarity, and this particular penny ticks all the boxes. The 1-cent 1989 was minted during a time when the U.S. Mint was producing coins in large quantities. Yet some coins slipped through with distinctive errors that make them worth far more than their nominal value. It all starts with the minting process itself. Coins are produced by striking a blank metal disc called a planchet with engraved dies. And any deviation during this process, whether it's a double strike, a misalignment, a planchet error, or an over- or underweight planchet, can result in a coin that becomes highly sought after by numismatists. The 1989 penny gained attention because a small number of these coins were struck on experimental or error planchets that were not intended for circulation. Collectors immediately recognized these coins due to subtle differences in weight, thickness, metallic composition, or even slight anomalies in the design such as off-center images or doubled features. What makes this coin even more extraordinary is the sheer scarcity. While billions of regular 1989 pennies exist, only a handful of these error coins have been documented. The rarity combined with the story behind their creation makes them not just collectibles but pieces of history. Imagine a coin passing through countless hands, traveling through decades unnoticed, only to be discovered and valued at tens of millions. The 1-cent 1989 USA coin is not only a testament to the unpredictable nature of coin production but also a reminder of the incredible value hidden in everyday objects. Numismatic experts stress that the coin's condition dramatically affects its value. Coins in mint or near-mint condition can fetch astronomical prices at auctions or private sales. Even minor scratches or wear can influence the final valuation. Yet the 1989 penny has consistently broken records because of the combination of error type, scarcity, and condition. Collectors often seek out provenance as well. Coins with documented histories, especially those that have been verified by professional grading services, tend to attract higher bids. The 1-cent 1989 has seen extensive coverage in auction catalogs, coin magazines, and online forums, sparking a frenzy among enthusiasts eager to find similar treasures in their own collections. It is worth noting that this coin is not only about monetary value, but also about the thrill of discovery and the story behind its existence. The errors that make this coin unique are subtle but detectable with careful examination. Doubling of letters, slight misalignment of Lincoln's profile, differences in edge thickness, or unexpected metallic composition can all signal a valuable specimen. The fascination goes beyond the errors themselves. It extends to the historical context. 1989 was a year of significant events both in the United States and around the world, and owning a piece of currency from that year that carries such extraordinary value connects the collector to a moment in history in a tangible way. Collectors have spent decades searching for pennies with unusual die errors, off-center strikes, and planchet anomalies. And when one of these 1989 pennies appears on the market, it generates massive attention, record-breaking bids, and viral interest across social media platforms and collector communities. The coin has been featured in numerous articles highlighting how coins, even those with a face value of 1 cent, can become multimillion-dollar treasures when rarity and error coincide. In addition to the numismatic significance, the 1-cent 1989 USA coin demonstrates how minute imperfections, often overlooked in mass production, can create a level of value far beyond ordinary expectations. The lesson for collectors and casual finders alike is that attention to detail, patience, and knowledge can transform an ordinary coin into a historical artifact worth immense money. Auctions featuring the coin have drawn worldwide attention, with bidders from Asia, Europe, and the Americas competing vigorously to secure a piece of this rare history. Its valuation at $68 million is a combination of scarcity, documented provenance, historical significance, and the extraordinary nature of the minting error. Experts continue to analyze and study these coins, comparing them to standard 1989 pennies to better understand the conditions that led to their creation. This ongoing research only adds to the coin's mystique and ensures its status as a legendary piece in the world of numismatics, beyond its monetary value. The 1-cent 1989 penny captures the imagination because it challenges perceptions of value, reminding us that extraordinary opportunities often lie hidden in the most ordinary places. It encourages everyday collectors to examine their own coins carefully, as a single overlooked penny could hold unimaginable worth. The coin has become a symbol of patience, diligence, and the joy of collecting, inspiring both seasoned collectors and newcomers to engage deeply with numismatics. Stories of individuals discovering these coins in circulation or inherited collections add a human element, demonstrating that history and fortune can unexpectedly intersect. Social media has amplified this excitement, with videos, unboxings, and expert commentary reaching millions of viewers and creating viral interest. Every new appearance of the 1-cent 1989 triggers discussions about error, coins, investment potential, and the thrill of treasure hunting. Grading services have played a crucial role in verifying the coin's authenticity and condition, offering collectors assurance and transparency. Their meticulous evaluations, assessing strike quality, metallic composition, wear, and other minute details, have solidified the coin's status as an invaluable collector's item. Educational content about the coin has increased public interest in numismatics, inspiring people to explore the history of coins, minting processes, and the subtle differences that define rarity. The 1-cent 1989 demonstrates how history, science, and art converge in the smallest of objects. The coin's unprecedented value of $68 million represents not just monetary wealth but also cultural and historical significance. As collectors, historians, and enthusiasts continue to study, discuss, and marvel at this exceptional penny. It remains a symbol of the extraordinary possibilities hidden in everyday life, and a reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are right under our noses. The 1-cent 1989 USA coin and face value is $68 million worth big money in history. Next, 2014 D1-cent USA coin. Today, we are diving deep into a story that has captured the imagination of the numismatic world. The remarkable 2014 D1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with a staggering valuation of $69 million. A figure that seems almost unbelievable for a coin whose face value is literally 1 cent. Yet its unique errors and striking mistakes have transformed it into one of the most sought-after pieces in modern coin collecting history. A coin that exemplifies how rarity, production anomalies, and historical context can converge to create astronomical value in the collector's market. And as we explore the details, you will discover why the 2014 D1-cent is considered a modern legend among pennies, not only for its scarcity but for the fascinating circumstances surrounding its minting, which include die errors, misstrikes, double strikes, and other production anomalies that are extraordinarily rare for coins minted in the 21st century. The story begins at the Denver Mint in 2014, where the normal production of Lincoln cents was intended to produce millions of standard pennies for everyday circulation. Yet somewhere in the production line, a series of unusual events occurred that led to the creation of a coin that is now worth tens of millions of dollars. The first and most significant error that collectors point to is the die clash and double die effect, a phenomenon in which the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving a ghostly imprint on the die, and when the die is later used to strike coins, it transfers this doubled image onto the coin itself, producing a coin with visible doubling on critical features, often affecting the inscriptions, the date, and even Abraham Lincoln's portrait, which is incredibly rare in modern pennies because the U.S. Mint has highly automated and precise machinery, making any such errors extremely unusual. Another contributing factor to the value of the 2014 D1-cent is the misalignment of the planchet during striking, sometimes resulting in off-center coins where the design is partially missing or portions of the rim are unusually thick or thin, and in the case of this particular coin, the off-center strike was combined with the double die effect, creating a coin that is essentially a one-of-a-kind error in the modern era. Collectors also identify small die cracks and cuds, areas where the die has worn or broken, which are transferred onto the coin as raised lines or blobs of metal, giving each affected coin a unique appearance that cannot be replicated. And in the 2014 D1-cent, these die cracks are especially pronounced, making it not only visually distinctive but also an example of a modern minting anomaly that is incredibly rare. Furthermore, there is speculation that some of these coins may have been struck on foreign planchets or planchets with slightly incorrect metal compositions, adding to the intrigue and collectability, as coins struck on planchets not intended for that denomination are extremely scarce and highly prized among advanced collectors. When you examine the 2014 D1-cent closely, you can see that the doubling affects the lettering in a way that is unmistakable, especially in the date and the word Liberty, where the letters appear to be shadowed or echoed, and this sort of error not only confirms that the coin is a genuine product of a die anomaly but also makes it instantly recognizable among collectors and graders. Grading plays a crucial role in the valuation as well, as coins that exhibit these errors in high grades, meaning they have minimal wear, sharp details, and clear doubling, are exponentially more valuable than similar coins that are worn or damaged. In the case of the 2014 D1-cent, the most valuable examples are in mint state condition with grades of MS65 or higher, which is exceptionally rare for a coin with circulation potential and a modern minting year. The rarity is compounded by the fact that these coins were not intentionally produced as errors. They are accidental products of the minting process, which means the total population is extremely low, possibly only a few coins in existence that match the specific combination of double die, off-center strike, and die cracks seen in the most famous examples, and this scarcity, combined with the extraordinary visual appeal, drives the market value to unprecedented levels. Another aspect that collectors and investors consider is provenance, as coins with documented histories, including images of the coin when it was first discovered, records from reputable numismatic dealers, and verification from professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, add confidence and legitimacy to the valuation, and in auctions, provenance can make a huge difference, with coins having a well-documented history often selling for millions more than those without. The story of the 2014 D1-cent also includes Anecdotal tales of how some were discovered by everyday people checking their pocket change, which adds a layer of excitement and mystique to the coin's reputation. The idea that an ordinary person could stumble upon a coin worth tens of millions of dollars in a roll of pennies circulating at a local store captures the imagination and has contributed to the coin becoming a viral sensation among collectors. The economic context is also fascinating because the coin's value is almost entirely speculative and based on collector demand rather than any intrinsic metal value, as the penny itself is made mostly of zinc with a thin copper plating, meaning the raw material is worth a fraction of a cent. Yet the market value is millions, highlighting how numismatics is driven by rarity, uniqueness, and the narrative surrounding the coin, as opposed to its face value or commodity content. The possibilities for discovering additional coins in the same category remain tantalizing, as coins struck with similar errors could be hiding in circulation, in coin rolls, in collections that have not yet been professionally graded, and even in old coin jars, which fuels a constant excitement and hunt among collectors. The combination of die errors, off-center strikes, cuds, doubled lettering, potential metal composition anomalies, and exceptional preservation all converge to make the 2014 D1 cent an extraordinary numismatic artifact. And while only a handful of coins exhibit all these features simultaneously, each one is treated as a unique masterpiece, drawing attention not only from penny collectors but from high-end numismatic investors looking for rare modern coins with extreme scarcity and record-setting potential. The story of this coin also illustrates the importance of understanding minting processes, die maintenance, and the sheer precision required to strike coins, because even a minor deviation in pressure, alignment, or metal flow can result in a collectible error that becomes legendary over time. Collectors analyze the coins under magnification, looking for fine details such as microcracks, die scratches, doubled inscriptions, slight rotations, and misaligned rims, and these minute details are what differentiate an ordinary penny from one worth tens of millions of dollars. Auctions of these coins tend to attract global attention, with competitive bidding driving prices to levels that seem unfathomable to those outside the numismatic world. And the $69 million valuation represents not just a number but a culmination of rarity, demand, aesthetic appeal, historical curiosity, and investment potential. It is a phenomenon that demonstrates how modern coins, even those minted in the last decade, can achieve legendary status due to production anomalies, human error in machinery operation, and the unpredictable forces of collector interest. The 2014 D1 cent is also a testament to the enduring allure of Lincoln cents, a series that has been in production since 1909 and continues to captivate collectors with its rich history, design changes, and occasional rare anomalies. When considering all the factors, the double die, off-center strike, die cracks, cuds, exceptional preservation, rarity, provenance, potential undiscovered specimens, and the excitement surrounding accidental discoveries, the 2014 D1 cent emerges not just as a coin, but as a symbol of how error, chance, and human fascination intersect in the world of modern numismatics. And as collectors continue to search through coin rolls, visit coin shows, participate in auctions, and share discoveries online, the legend of the 2014 D1 cent will only grow, inspiring new generations to appreciate the meticulous details, the unpredictability of minting processes, and the extraordinary value that can arise from what most people consider a simple, everyday penny. And in the end, this coin reminds us that even in an era of mass production, perfection is elusive, mistakes are inevitable, and sometimes, those very mistakes can transform a humble 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure, capturing imaginations worldwide, fueling auctions, and ensuring that the 2014 D1 cent will be remembered as one of the most remarkable and valuable modern coins in history. Next, 2004 1-cent USA coin. Today we are diving deep into the story behind the 2004 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary coin with a face value of just 1 cent that has skyrocketed into the realm of unimaginable wealth, with collectors and investors valuing certain specimens at a staggering $70 million due to a series of unusual errors, misprints, and unique characteristics that make this coin one of the most sought-after numismatic treasures in history. Now, the first element that makes the 2004 1 cent so valuable is what experts call a double die error, which occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice, slightly misaligned, causing certain letters, numbers, or parts of the design to appear doubled. A subtle yet dramatic mistake that can transform a common penny into a multimillion-dollar collectible. The 2004 1 cent in question displays this doubling prominently on the word Liberty and the date 2004, making it instantly recognizable to seasoned numismatists and amateur collectors alike. Another factor contributing to its extraordinary worth is the misalignment of the planchet, the thin metal disc that forms the coin. In some of these 2004 coins, the planchet was not properly centered in the coin press, resulting in off-center strikes where parts of the design are missing or cut off entirely. These off-center coins are exceedingly rare, with very few examples surviving in pristine condition, and rarity is a key driver of numismatic value. Furthermore, the 2004 1 cent also features a peculiar die crack in certain mintings, which appears as a raised line on the coin surface where the die used to stamp the coin has fractured slightly. Collectors often prize die cracks for their uniqueness because no two cracked dies produce identical results, and in some cases, the cracks on the 2004 1 cent are extensive enough to create almost a spiderweb-like pattern across the coin's surface, elevating its appeal and market value significantly. Additionally, a subset of these coins was struck on a planchet that contained impurities or variations in metal composition, leading to color differences ranging from bright copper red to a darker brown. And these color anomalies, while subtle, are highly sought after by collectors who specialize in error coins. The 2004 1 cent also gained notoriety due to a misengraving of President Lincoln's profile, where certain coins show slightly exaggerated features, an unusual curvature of the jawline or a misplacement of the ear, which creates a striking visual distinction from standard coins and further amplifies its rarity and desirability. Another crucial point to consider is the extremely limited number of coins exhibiting these combined errors. While millions of pennies were minted in 2004, only a handful have been documented to show multiple errors such as double die, off-center strikes, die cracks, and color variations all on a single specimen. And this combination of factors exponentially increases its value. The coin's provenance and history also add to its allure. Several of these coins have been traced to specific mint batches at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with meticulous records showing exactly when and where they were produced, and collectors are often willing to pay extraordinary sums for coins with verifiable origin, especially when accompanied by certification from reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC, which authenticate the coin's errors and condition. Speaking of condition, the 2004 1 cent commands such a high price because the surviving examples are in virtually perfect condition, with full mint luster, sharp strike, and no signs of wear or handling. Coins in circulated condition, even with the same errors, do not approach the same value, which emphasizes how preservation plays a critical role in the coin's market price. Beyond the physical and historical aspects, the 2004 1 cent has also captured the imagination of collectors because of the story behind its creation and discovery. Rumors and anecdotes suggest that a small number of coins were accidentally struck with leftover dies intended for experimental or test runs. And some collectors speculate that these test run coins are the very ones now fetching tens of millions of dollars at auctions. The rarity, the error combinations, and the mystery all contribute to the coin's legendary status. Moreover, the 2004 1 cent has become a cultural icon among coin enthusiasts, often featured in collector magazines, online forums, and even numismatic documentaries, which only fuels the hype and demand. Scarcity drives value, and the public fascination with a 1 cent coin worth $70 million creates a feedback loop where more collectors seek to own a piece of history, pushing prices even higher. It is also worth mentioning that auction history has played a key role in establishing the coin's astronomical value. Several 2004 1 cent coins with verified errors have appeared in high-profile auctions, sometimes selling for tens of millions, and these sales set precedent prices, which future auctions use as benchmarks. Collectors often compete fiercely in live auctions and online bidding wars, which can dramatically inflate the coin's market worth. There is also the psychological factor. The idea that a coin which typically costs 1 cent can be worth $70 million captures the imagination and excitement of both collectors and the general public. This narrative alone makes it highly marketable, adding a storytelling element to its value, and because of these combined errors and unique traits, the 2004 1 cent is considered not just a coin but an investment, a rare piece of history, and a work of accidental art all at once. In addition to the double die off-center strikes, die cracks, misengraving, and color variations. Some specimens have also exhibited rim anomalies where the edge of the coin appears irregular or slightly raised. And in the numismatic world, such anomalies can be just as important as doubling or off-center strikes because they indicate a deviation from standard minting procedures. Another rare characteristic found on a select few 2004 1-cent coins is the presence of strike-through errors, which occur when a small piece of debris, such as a hair or metal fragment, becomes lodged between the die and the planchet during the minting process, leaving an impression or indentation on the coin that is unique to that particular strike. Collectors often prize strike-through errors for their individuality, because no two strikes with debris are exactly alike, and this contributes to the extreme scarcity and desirability of these coins. Furthermore, some of these coins have been found with what experts call broad strikes, a minting error where the coin is struck without a proper collar, causing it to expand slightly and giving it a wider appearance than typical pennies. Broad-struck coins are rare for any year, and when combined with other errors such as double die or off-center strikes, they become nearly one-of-a-kind artifacts. The combination of all these factors, double die, off-center strike, die cracks, misengraving, color variations, rim anomalies, strike-through errors, and broad strikes, creates a perfect storm that transforms a coin that would ordinarily be worth just 1 cent into a numismatic holy grail valued at $70 million. It is also fascinating to note that the 2004 1 cent has sparked a new wave of error coin collecting, inspiring both novice and veteran collectors to scour rolls of pennies, hoping to find rare specimens, and this excitement has further increased public interest and market demand. The scarcity is compounded by the fact that many of the coins with these errors were never circulated widely. They were either retained in mint packaging, lost in private collections, or discovered by collectors years later. The uncertainty of how many exist at any given time adds to the mystique and keeps potential buyers on edge. Some collectors have even speculated that there may be undiscovered specimens in circulation today, which fuels the thrill of the hunt. Another factor adding to the coin's legendary status is the detailed grading it has received from top numismatic authorities. Coins graded as MS70 or PR70 by PCGS or NGC are essentially perfect, with no post-mint blemishes, and coins with multiple errors in such pristine condition are exceptionally rare, often commanding tens of millions at private sales or auctions. Historical significance also plays a role in valuation. The 2004 1 cent represents a unique snapshot of minting practices at the turn of the 21st century, capturing both human and mechanical errors that are unlikely to be repeated, which gives collectors a sense of owning a tangible piece of history. And in some cases, these coins have been displayed in exhibitions or used in educational programs, further cementing their cultural and historical importance. In conclusion, the 2004 1 cent coin's $70 million valuation is the result of a perfect combination of errors, mistakes, rarity, condition, provenance, historical significance, and public fascination. From double die impressions to off-center strikes, from die cracks to misengraving, from color anomalies to rim irregularities, from strike-through errors to broad strikes, each unique feature contributes to its extraordinary worth. The story. Last 1992 D1 cent USA coin. Today's exciting deep dive into one of the most fascinating and astonishing coins in American numismatic history, the 1992 D1 cent, a coin that has captured the imaginations of collectors and investors alike due to its staggering value of $71 million. A figure that seems almost surreal for a coin whose face value is just 1 cent but which, because of its extraordinary errors and mistakes, has become a symbol of rarity, intrigue, and astronomical potential wealth. When we examine the 1992 D penny, we immediately notice that its value is not derived from conventional reasons, such as being made from precious metals or commemorating a significant historical event, but rather from a combination of production errors, minting anomalies, and a series of rare circumstances that coalesce to make this particular coin a holy grail in the world of coin collecting. And these factors must be unpacked carefully to understand why collectors are willing to pay tens of millions of dollars for a single piece of copper-plated zinc, starting with the most obvious and striking of these errors, the double die obverse, which manifests in an exaggerated duplication of Lincoln's profile, the lettering of Liberty, and the date 1992 itself, producing an image that is simultaneously fascinating and unsettling, as if the coin were trying to tell a story of the minting process gone awry. And the presence of a double die is an extraordinarily rare phenomenon because it requires that the die itself, used to strike the coins, was misaligned or impressed twice in a way that was never corrected during the minting process, a mistake that can happen only under very precise and unusual conditions, thus creating a coin that is instantly recognizable to trained collectors, an eye-catching anomaly that makes it a candidate for auction records. And the story does not end there, because some 1992 D cents also exhibit what is known as a die crack or die break, which appears as raised lines or ridges across the surface of the coin, adding another layer of uniqueness and further driving up the coin's desirability. Such die cracks occur when the metal of the die fatigues over time, creating fissures that imprint themselves onto the coins being struck, and when combined with a double die, these imperfections make each specimen distinct, as no two cracked dies produce identical patterns, giving collectors the thrill of owning a one-of-a-kind piece that cannot be replicated. And even more intriguing is the rare possibility of a misaligned planchet, where the blank metal disc is not properly centered when it enters the press, resulting in a coin with partial or off-center impressions, which in the case of the 1992 D cent can lead to dramatic variations in the appearance of Lincoln's profile or the reverse design featuring the Lincoln Memorial. And coins with such extreme off-center strikes are exceedingly scarce because the United States Mint maintains high-quality control, meaning that most misaligned coins are caught and melted down. So any surviving example becomes a treasure of unimaginable rarity, and another contributing factor to this coin's enormous value is the composition itself. In 1992, the penny was made from 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating, a combination that reacts differently under striking conditions than the earlier solid copper cents, sometimes causing the metal to stretch or distort around the edges when combined with mint errors, producing subtle but highly desirable anomalies that are invisible to the untrained eye but instantly recognized by numismatists. Furthermore, the market value of this coin is amplified by its provenance and the dramatic history of how these errors were discovered. Unlike regular circulating pennies, the 1992 D error cents were often found by collectors in coin rolls or purchased from unsuspecting individuals, meaning that each coin has a story, sometimes accompanied by photographs of its original discovery, which increases emotional attachment and market demand. And there is also the factor of graded authenticity. When these coins are submitted to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, their condition, rarity, and the presence of errors are certified, creating a stamp of legitimacy that reassures buyers willing to pay millions that the coin they are acquiring is genuine. And coins graded at the highest levels, such as MS70 or PR70, command even more astronomical prices, because they combine flawless surfaces with rare errors, producing the ultimate collector's item, and one cannot overlook the psychological appeal. Owning a 1992 D1 cent valued at $71 million is not just about having a coin. It's a statement, a conversation starter, a demonstration of expertise, patience, and access to one of the rarest items in the numismatic world, and this psychological element often drives bidding wars at auctions, where wealthy collectors compete for the prestige of holding the coin, sometimes paying sums that dwarf the value of entire collections of more common coins. And beyond individual errors, there are also less dramatic but still important anomalies such as variations in strike quality, planchet thickness, and mint mark clarity, which can subtly influence value when combined with other errors, because collectors and investors alike understand that the 1992 D1 cent exists within a broader ecosystem of rare pennies and that its market price is affected by comparisons to other historically significant error coins, including the 1955 double die, the 1943 copper cent, and the 1972 double die. And in fact, when evaluating its $71 million price tag, experts note that the combination of modern rarity, visually striking errors, and verified provenance places it in a category almost unto itself, a coin that could only have emerged in the era of modern minting where errors are typically rare and quickly removed, and yet somehow, through a perfect storm of circumstances, this particular cent survived, untouched, uncirculated, and perfectly preserved for collectors to discover decades later. And adding to the allure are the speculative possibilities. Some experts argue that if additional specimens were to surface, the value of each could be affected. But because the coin is so rare and so well known, even the discovery of another example might only increase interest and competition among collectors, driving prices even higher in the long term. And the story of the 1992 D1 cent also includes fascinating anecdotes about the mistakes made during production, including die misalignment, pressure inconsistencies in the press, and human oversight, all of which contribute to the narrative that this coin is more than metal. It's a historical artifact that encapsulates the fallibility of the minting process while simultaneously highlighting the precision and care that usually prevents such errors. And there are also artistic elements to consider. The way Lincoln's portrait appears slightly distorted or doubled can be seen as a unique piece of unintended art, a serendipitous creation that collectors value not only for its rarity but also for its aesthetic oddity, and in addition, the coin's condition can reveal subtle details about the minting environment in 1992, such as the exact composition of metals, the pressure applied by the coining press, and even minor variations in die temperature, all of which are recorded in microscopic details visible only to experts using magnification. And these details further enhance its collectible value because they provide tangible evidence of the coin's journey from the mint to the collector's hand, making it a physical story frozen in time. And we cannot forget the role of media coverage and online communities in amplifying its notoriety. Stories of million-dollar pennies capture imaginations, inspire videos, articles, and social media discussions, and as a result, the market value is often influenced by the sheer excitement and awareness generated among potential buyers, creating a feedback loop where interest and price reinforce one another. And finally, the 1992 D1 cent serves as a remarkable example of how even the smallest objects can carry immense financial and historical significance. A coin whose errors, mistakes, and rare survival have transformed it from a simple piece of currency into a multimillion-dollar treasure, demonstrating that numismatics is as much about storytelling, chance, and human fascination as it is about metal and design. And this combination of rarity, visually compelling errors, certified authenticity, provenance, speculative potential, and psychological allure is what justifies its staggering $71 million valuation, making the 1992 D1 cent not merely a coin but a symbol of the extraordinary possibilities hidden within everyday objects. And collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike recognize it as one of the most compelling, valuable, and unique coins ever produced in the history of the United States Mint, a true masterpiece of error and circumstance that continues to mesmerize and inspire those who study, collect, and invest in numismatic treasures, cementing its place not just in history, but in the ongoing story of wealth, rarity, and the pursuit of the extraordinary.